Python function argument. The terms parameters and arguments can be used for the same thing, information that are passed into a function. So in the previous video on Python function, we already touched on arguments, but for the sake of clarity, let's do something again. So I'm going to create a function that does sum, okay, or let's say add numbers, and we can pass parameters to it, num1 and num2, because we want to do the addition of those two numbers. Then we can create a variable called sum. Then we can add num1 to num2. Then we can return sum, so that we can do whatever we want with the value. Now if we do this, let's say we create a new variable called results, and result is going to be us calling the add number function. Then we can pass our variables to it, so we can say 5 and 10. Then we can now print results. You can see we have the return as 15. So basically this is your simple Python function that does the addition of two numbers and gives you a return. Now, we also touched on default value. So what if we make num1 default to 10? What would happen if we run this function again? We still have 15, but what if we did not pass in a value for num1, or for one of the, we didn't pass in an argument for one of them? What would happen? Let's see. If we run this, num1, num2, okay, we have a default value is equal to 10. Okay, we can also have a default value is equal to 20 for num2. So clear the output. Now when we run this, you can see our return is 30. If I make num1 5, I want you to see what is happening. We still have 30 because this first one, this argument is replacing this parameter. But then you could see that previously when I did this, I had an error. So this leads us to what we call keyword arguments. So instead of just doing it like this, if I don't have a value for num2, then I can use the name of num2 to assign the value here. So num2 is equal to 10. So let's run this, and we still have our error. So let's see where the problem is coming from. Okay, so let's have a default for num2. So let's say 50. We have 50 for num2, but we are sending in a variable for num2 called with value 10. So let's see which one comes out. Well, not saved, so I have to save. I guess I didn't save previously. So save, we still have 15. So this is what you have when you use named keywords in your arguments. So when you send in the argument, it uses the name of the argument to find what to replace. To illustrate this properly, I'll comment all this out, then I will create a new function that display info. So I will say def, I will call this user. Then we have first name and last name, L name. Then I would want to print the user first name. So I would just say first name is F name, so I will duplicate this, and last name is L name. Now, if I come in here to call this function by saying user, if I do this, Precious Iriel, that's my name, first name and last name. this works. Okay, let me clear it. So this works. First name is Precious, last name is Iriel. But we can actually change how they appear. So normally, if assuming we have this here, Iriel first, that will be my first name for this function, which is not supposed to be. So if I do this, you see, first name, oh, I didn't save this. So I'll clear output and redo it. So you see, first name is now Iriel. To solve this issue, we can use the keyword by just saying L name is equal to this, and F name is equal to this. Clear output, and as you can see, it's working correctly now because we are using the keyword name inside of the argument to assign the values respectively. The next thing we want to talk about is arbitrary arguments. So let's see how that works. So you use star or asterisk to work with arbitrary arguments. So this is used when you know the numbers of arguments that you want to pass. So let's say we want to create a function called countries. To pass in the arguments, you use what we call star args. It could be any name, but just to make it easy, let's use args. So arg stands for arguments. Then we can say print countries. So print countries. Then we can use our args here. Now let's call this function. To use this function, we are going to send in our response or our arguments as a tuple. Remember, tuple cannot be mutated, they cannot be changed. So it's better to use a tuple because you can't change the value of a tuple. So let's go. So we call countries and we pass in the countries that we want to pull out. So Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. You can see we can pass in unlimited numbers of arguments as you want. USA. So I'll stop here, and if I run this, you can see countries Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, USA. It brings the result out as a tuple. You can see it. So even if I had a new country, England, I can add more, Russia, still the same, we still get them all. This is because we are using the arbitrary arguments that you can use when you want to send in maybe unlimited numbers of arguments and you don't want to assign them to variables one by one. So let's proceed. The next one we will talk about is the arbitrary keyword arguments. So this is used when you don't know the amount or number of keyword arguments that you want to pass in. So let's recreate our user function again. And since we don't know how many user arguments that we want to send in, we will use what we call kwargs in Python. So you use double star kwargs. So it means it stands for keyword arguments. That's also what it stands for. Then let's go. So let's print out what we want to display. So I can say my name is, I'm going to use formats to output this. My name is Precious Iriel. I am from Nigeria. And I love Python. Okay, so I'll use format for this. Then the first one should be fname L name, country, and let me just call this code. Now to call this, we would say user. Remember, it's a keyword argument, so we proceed like this. So F name is Precious. L name is Ireo. Country is Nigeria, and code is Python. So I can see there is issue with the formats I'm using, so I will switch it around now. So let's just access it with the name of the variables themselves. So I'll take out the formats, since we're not going to use the format system anymore. Then let's redo this. So my name is, then that will be plus keyword arguments, and the first one is F name. Then I want a space there, so plus, then this one is last name. Good. So my name is, yes. Okay, let's proceed. Plus, I am from, another plus, because we want to put our keywords there again for country. So I am from, good, and this goes, and plus, and I love to code, so keywords code. Yes, plus keywords plus. Okay, good. So let's run this now and see. And as you can see, my name is Precious Ireo. I am from Nigeria. There should be a space here. So let me rerun this. My name is Precious Ireo. I am from Nigeria and I love to code. So you use the keywords to access the variable, the keys. So I use keywords to access the name so that I can access the value. So keywords F name is going to be Precious. Keywords L name is going to be Ireo. Keywords country is going to be Nigeria, and keywords code is going to be Python. So guys, this is it on Python function arguments, and it was refreshing to have this video with you.